Lawmakers proposed loosening child labor laws to fill the worker shortage and are embracing legislation.
On a positive note, if there is one, at least this is only a proposal. Because not too long ago, we've seen one such proposal turn into reality. This is Arkansas's HB 1410, the revision of the child labor laws. And unsurprisingly, it was signed into law by Arkansas Governor Huckabee Sanders. It's interesting that the party that is hell-bent on protecting children is willing to exploit them. Protection, of course, has to be within the purview of the biblical view, whereas exploitation is fair game because it enriches the corporate bottom line and therefore the donation dollars that are rolling into the pockets of politicians. And the interesting sell here is that they are trying to convince us that we have a labor shortage, which is technically true in some industry segments, while the reality is not a shortage, the reality is migration. Organizations don't pay enough, organizations are exploiting adult workers, and they're now trying to shift the burden by opening up the door to employ children who have a lesser expectation of compensation, or as V already indicated in her video, don't have the confidence or the wherewithal or the knowledge or the education to file a complaint when appropriate, or altogether to do something that is of course the American evil, unionize. Children are an easy target. And adults, unfortunately, are going to be left out because we have to have an expectation of compensation. There is food to be put on the table, including for the children that are now going to be exploited. There are car payments, house payments, rent payments, student loan payments are going to kick back in. The expectation of compensation, of fair compensation, is just. It is fair. It is right. But rather than allowing for that, organizations pressure or pay politicians to create legislation that allows them to employ children. Not too long ago, actually, when you think back, we had campaigns running, for instance, against Nike, where it was found out broadly that Nike and its vendors exploited children in the production of its wares that were then sold to the American consumer at a reasonably high price tag. And consumer groups, advocates, came together and pointed out the ills, ensuring that Nike is changing its ways. Now, granted, the suppliers of Nike have perhaps exploited children of the age of 7, 8, 9, 10, not quite yet 14, 15, but that doesn't mean that we are not heading in the same direction when we are already willing to reduce child labor ages to the range of 14 and perhaps even below if we are going to continue those trends. So it's easy for us to point the finger, but certainly never at ourselves. The hypocrisy is astounding.